to this week's edition of the Spartan Spotlight. I'm Rob Giampapa of Rebel Run Sports. I'm here, of course, head coach Jason Eldridge of the West Springfield Spartans. Coach, how you doing?
Better.
Better this week?
Better this week.
All right.
Better this
Excellent.
week.
Excellent. Well, let's talk
it's good
about
to get a win. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, good. Well, let's talk about it a little bit. You guys beat Lee 35-7.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that game.
Well, they got twin brothers on Lee, and we were really concerned about them. They're very good athletes. They could beat anybody, in my opinion. So we had a game plan that was good. We did some things to adjust our personnel in the secondary from what happened against Mount Vernon. That worked. We went in with the attitude that we wanted to play a clean football game. So your turnovers, the penalties, the little mistakes that'll beat you, we really wanted to touch on and work on in practice. We did a better job. I'm not going to say we did a great job. We did a better job. We played one great quarter. Trying to get 2 great quarters out of this team this week. But we were able to hang on based on our defensive adjustments. And, we're starting to figure out the kids a little better, what they can do well versus what we thought they could do well, and what they don't do well versus what we thought they didn't do well. So the coaches are getting better, the players are getting better. Hopefully this continues with the stretch we have coming up. So tough stretch.
We'll get into that tough stretch a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so in that game, like you said, those Hamilton brothers, they are tough. I've seen them.
Tough.
They're tough to defend. But you guys did a little something. You moved Najee to green, Najee Green to corner.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that adjustment there.
Yeah, so, we decided we wanted to attack them a little bit. And to do that, you got to lock down the edges. So, the defensive backs we put in the week before just were not able to do that with high-level guys. And so what we did is matched up our athletes with their athletes, kind of got in their face a little bit, and, made the quarterback have to sit and make decisions. And our pass rush worked out well, and we sent some pressures here and there, and that stymied their offense. We forced a couple turnovers. We put our offense on short fields. All the things that you need to do to win games, we were doing early. Second quarter got a little sloppy. We started we're going to penalize ourselves. We turned the ball over a couple times. Pete's still not 100%, although that's getting better each week. So we incorporate our run game a lot better. I felt like Dalton had a really good game as far as the carries and the yards that he got. We were able to get Daniel involved. We were able to get Najee involved. We were able to get Jake involved at the slot. So those things all worked themselves out. Hopefully we're getting a little healthier too as we move forward here. We're getting a couple of our guys back. So it all kind of worked in the right direction. Still got a lot to clean up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned your 3 receivers there. As a head coach and even as your offensive staff, how easy is it to get trapped into that, man, let's throw it to these guys because we have the horses on the outside and in the slot?
Yeah, real easy, particularly with a guy like Pete, whose reads are getting better. Just to sit back there and sling the rock 40 to 50 times is, that's probably what we can cater to the most on our offensive side, strategically speaking. But you have to have some balance. Because what teams are going to do is vacate the box, and the box being, tackle to tackle, first and second level on defense. So, you want other teams to be able to respect other parts of your game to open those guys up. Because then what they're going to end up doing there is double covering the edges, and now you've got to find ways to get guys open. But when you can run the ball a little bit, you got to appropriate guys to stop in that run, and then that will open up people on the edge. So, yeah, you look at our talent level, and you think to yourself, well, we got to throw for 400 yards to win the game. But that, we don't have to do that. We think we can, but ultimately, against the guys that we're playing coming up, we have to be able to be balanced. So,
well, let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yes.
You got South County coming up?
We do.
Obviously, I'm sure you've already seen. They lost to Westfield last week, but they put up 50 on Hayfield this week.
Yep.
Have you had a chance to look at them?
Absolutely. So big things with them. Special teams, you got to be prepared. I think they try all kinds of quirky things, want the ball back, extra possessions. You have to also be mentally prepared for their pace on offense as a defensive team. They're going to line up and do some things. Here's one thing that they're doing different this year than they haven't done in years past. They seem to be running a 2-tier offensive structure where they go to spread and they even 5 wide and empty it out, or they'll line up with a bunch of guys in the backfield, a couple tight ends, try to maul you off the ball. And you never know what you're getting one play to the next, one series to the next. So, what they try to do is use their pace to tire you down, to wear you down mentally and physically, and then try to throw these different offenses at you so that you have to really structure your communication and your organization to get your assignments down. Right. And when you're tired, that's tough to do over the long haul of the game. So they really try to work to keep you mentally off balance. We have to work on that this week.
Well, just one particular question about this matchup coming up. What do you do with a guy like Dylan Spalding?
Well, we're hoping he doesn't play because he didn't play last week. I doubt it, since everybody seems to get healthy for us. Here's what we've got to do. We've got to pressure the quarterback, all right? Because you can't cover that guy one-on-one. So we're going to have to give him, whoever's out there, it's probably Daniel or Najee, one of the two. They're probably going to have to get some help. The kid's extra physical. He's a super athlete. And so if we give a quarterback a lot of time and try to single cover, that's not going to go well. So, the question is, how much pressure can we get? Can we force them into situations on their down and distance where they have to force the ball downfield? That's what we want to do. You can't get them in a position where they're dictating what they want to do to you based on the down and distance and things like that. And we got to get them off the field on big downs. That's the key to this game, in my opinion. Third and fourth downs, we got to get off the field defensively. So we'll see how it goes. I'd like to get in his face a little bit and see if it flusters them. I'd like to pressure the quarterback. It looks like they're rotating quarterbacks, at least on film at Hayfield. So that's going to create some issues for us. We got to, pick out what they can and cannot do, each of those guys. And then their athleticism, they don't have to go to Dylan Spalding. They got other guys.
Absolutely.
Number 4, the kid who's going to the service academies, Salisbury. Yeah, he's a handful. So we've got to make sure that we're on top of it.
No, that was the next thing I was going to say. Salisbury is a tremendous athlete, and to have that guy in the slot makes things difficult.
Yeah, even at quarterback, he's an issue. So the communication and the adjustments play to play have got to be on point for us. And, that's what my concern is, because over the long haul of the game, we tend to, particularly against Lee, we were up and then we were down and then we were up and then we were down. We can't do that. We have to take advantage of our possessions in the red zone offensively. We have to avoid being in the red zone defensively against them as much as possible. And, it's one of these things where we have to have a good week of practice. We got to play a clean game of football. We can't be turning the ball over, can't be penalizing ourselves. Those things are going to lead to disasters against good teams. We've got away with it a little bit against Lee because they couldn't take advantage of some things, but this team is not going to be like that, right? So,
I have to ask you, as a coach, honestly, I've wanted to ask coaches this before. Honestly, going to South County, how disorienting is that stallion running the field before the game for the players? Because I've seen some players coming onto the field and that stallion's coming out and running all over the place. What is it like having that thing running up and down the field?
All right, I'll give you 2 answers. Personally, for me, I love that. Yeah. It brings you to the even almost the college atmosphere where like the Florida State guy running out and throwing the whatever thing down. I think that creates a great environment, and I think high-end environments that are exciting are awesome for kids, coaches too. I mean, it's what we live for, right? You only have 10 games in regular season. You really have to enjoy the times that you have. So for me as a coach, I get excited about that. I like going on the road. I like trying to shut teams down on the road to quiet crowds and things like that. From a kid perspective, and our kids, I hate to sit here and have to talk about this necessarily, but our kids go into this kind of environment, and for some it's intimidating. Yeah. I think our high-level guys are used to it. Pete's going to be fine. Daniel's going to be fine. Najee's going to be fine. Those kids, Connor's going to be fine. Those kids are going to be up for this situation. They're going to be ready to go. It's the kids that don't have a lot of experience with this. They're the ones that go in there like, oh, what is happening here? You know what I mean? And they kind of forget everything that you're drilling in their head for the week kind of goes out the window for a minute until they get in there and get their first hit, and then it seems like a game again. So they have an intimidating atmosphere. If that's what you're asking, it's there. Yeah. It happens. They are all over you. They're excited about every play. The crowd is loud. It's a vibrant environment. And so you have to do your best to kind of block it out as a player and a coach and focus on the task at hand. And what we're trying to do is win every play. Win the next play. You don't win that play? Fine. Let's win the next play, right? So just kind of, we can't get into this oh, it's South County, blah, blah, blah. You know, we have to just take every opponent these next 4, 5, 6 weeks and just get play for play, quarter for quarter. That's kind of where we are as a team.
Okay. Well, I have no doubt that your student section is going to travel for that game.
They are. They'll be there. Yeah.
They will definitely be there.
They've been awesome lately. I got to give them a shout out. I mean, they brought a stereo with them, a big subwoofer, and they're playing 80s. They're singing Foreigner out of the thing. Like, it's crazy town. So I love them. I think they've been so supportive these last couple weeks, and I really thank what they've done. They've brought a lot of energy to our kids. So hopefully this will be a really cool environment.
Well, they had the best thing I saw last year. Last year they had a guy that just in a toga and sword shield runs up in the middle, but he runs up in the middle of the crowd and the entire crowd just separates and he's the only one standing there. It was awesome. I still have that saved somewhere. It was awesome.
Cool.
So you have a tough stretch coming up.
Yes.
Coming off a win. Yeah.
Murder.
But coming off this win, is it a balance trying to keep your guys high on the win, but not too high rolling into the schedule? What's that balance like going?
Yeah, I am. Here's the problem with coaching, honestly, Rob. When you win, you forget it 10 minutes later. I was addressing my team after Lee. Lee was already out of my mind. Okay. And I was on to, this is what we're doing well, this is what we're not doing well, this is what we have to improve on. It's still about average for us right now, and we're playing a very above average schedule. So that was kind of sobering, I think, for the kids, unfortunately. But I asked them to enjoy, obviously, the situation that evening. When you lose, it stays with you all week.
Right.
And so what we have to do is, I want the kids to be excited and be confident that we're playing better, because we are. But I also want them to understand that our caliber of opponent will now jump 2 to 3-fold. And Lee's a work in progress. They're going to win some games, in my opinion, with those kids in their league. Problem is, that's not our league.
Right.
And our league is coming now. And when you look down the schedule, South County. And then you go the next week after that, and that's not going to be an easy game. And then you go the next week after that, and that's not going to be an easy game. So we go South County and Stonebridge on the road. Then we go West Potomac at home. Then we're TC on the road, who just played Westfield. Tough, right. And then we are Braddock at home. None of those things allude to any kind of, we're just going to walk in and get a win. So what I am telling the kids is, we can't look at the 5 games ahead. What we have to look at is getting better on Monday. Just like I said last week, getting better on Tuesday. And then when we get to South County, it's, let's win this play in the first quarter. Then let's win the quarter. Then let's try to get into the second quarter. I can't, if we start looking at where we're going to get wins, who's going to be here, who's going to be there, then it's going to be a daunting task. We've got to steal some games on the road here. We're in a little bit of a hole still, and that hopefully will work ourselves out of it. But as we talked about, I think the parity in our region right now is very good. I mean, I would put Braddock as the front runner at this point, given how they've performed. But they're, Braddock and West Potomac, I'm interested in this game. Outside of our game, I'm very interested in that, how that goes. And then after that, teams are going to beat each other because we're all playing each other. So we just got to get a few wins here and just get better every week. And I think things will be okay for our guys. So we got enough talent. We just have to keep working it,
Very well.
Yeah.
Got a tough week and a tough road ahead. So we'll
It's terrible. The scheduling gods were miserable to us. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I'd be mad too.
Right. It's not that I'm mad. It's just, why does it have to be every week?
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got a daunting task ahead of you coming up the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. We're going to do our best, man.
Hey,
we're going to do our best.
I have no doubt about that, and you got the guys to do it. So
yes, sir.
We'll let you get out of here and get to work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Head coach Jason Eldridge, West Springfield High School. This has been the Spartan Spotlight. We'll join you next week.